Hi fans, and welcome to this Week 6 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. Last Friday night, the Wolverines defeated Upper St. Clair 35-7 at the Wolverina. This week, they'll hit the road to take on Canon-Mac in a Southeastern Conference matchup. We're going to sit down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak to review last week's victory over Upper St. Clair, preview this week's game at Canon-Mac, and we'll also let you see highlights of last Friday's game. All of that and more on the pregame show here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, presenting the pride of Woodland Hills football, the 2015 Wolverines, led by head coach George Novak and his staff.
He'll drop back, looks left, hit as he throws the football, and it's intercepted by the Wolverines. The pick by Dana Wilson-Adams, and the Wolverines have the football at the Upper St. Clair 38-yard line. Geisler pressured, hit, wrapped, brought down in the end zone. The officials checking in. How was it not a safety? Upper St. Clair forced the punt deep in the shadow of their own goalpost, and not a pretty punt. Jamon Dunn's going to have a nice return here to the far sideline. A punishing hit, and Jamon Dunn will cross the goal line for a Woodland Hills punt return for a TD. Two punishing blows on the blocks. Snap slides through the legs of the Upper St. Clair punter. He's going to have to run to his right-hand side. He'll be knocked around and brought down. Handoff, Joel Shaw running right inside of the 20. He's looking for contact as he drives his way down to the 10. He'll hand off, Shaw bouncing right. Nothing but the block end zone in front of him. And Joel Shaw is into the end zone for the Woodland Hills touchdown. Geisler has time, looking right the whole way, has a receiver down this near sideline, and a diving reception going out of bounds at the 1-yard line is Kevin Chris's. The handoff will go to Visman, and Visman will drive his way forward to the goal line, and finally will cross that goal line. Sends Wynn in motion from left to right. Wynn will take the end around. He'll slide past tackler, still on his feet, burst free inside of the 40, cutting it back to the near side inside of the 30, and he'll be brought down. The football laying on the turf, but the officials say that he is down inside of that 30-yard line, and a big play on the end around. Shaw takes the handoff, big hole over right guard, inside of the 10, inside of the 5, and Joel Shaw gives the Wolverines a more comfortable double-digit advantage. Here comes Michael McAllister after the QB Geisler. Geisler eludes him, but then he's hit hard by Damon Johnson. The big sack back at the 36-yard line. Cooper is going to keep it, running to his right-hand side, has a big hole, 25 to the 30, crossing the 35, far boundary 40. And here comes Peyton Hicks with a big hole, and he'll drive his way deep inside of Panther territory. He'll hand off to Peyton Hicks, who bounces it to the outside, inside of the 30, crossing the 25, the 20, the 15, lowers the shoulder to the 10-yard line, and out of bounds goes Peyton Hicks with a big pickup for the Wolverines. Hand off, Hicks runs right, turns the corner into the end zone for the Woodland Hills touchdown. Wolverines looking to punt. They'll fake the punt, and the pass is complete to Joel Shaw, who's into Panther territory, still on his feet, running to the near side, inside of the 40. He's banged by one of his own players, and he's still on his feet, brought down finally at the 25-yard line. As Geisler runs off of play action, he's pressured from the right-hand side. He's wrapped and sacked by Amon Baldwin Youngblood. Handoff, Shaw finds a hole, slides his way forward, escaping tacklers inside of Panthers territory, and finally brought down at the 39-yard line. Hicks dots the pistol. He'll take the handoff, drives his way forward, first down yardage and more, spinning his way down to the 20-yard line, and Peyton Hicks with a big 19-yard rush. Hicks running right, turns the corner, cuts it back, 15, 10, 5, and he's brought down right around the 4-yard line. Handoff, Shaw cuts his way forward, still on his feet, crossing the goal line for the 5-yard Woodland Hills TD, and Woodland Hills cements this one away. They're on top 34-7.
We are the Woodland Hills Wolverines. Since 1987, we've been a part of some of the most electrifying football games in Western Pennsylvania, and we've established a national reputation of excellence. Whether you're a former player, a Woody High alum, a parent, or a fan, you're part of our Wolverine family. And now you can join us by becoming a part of our new booster club, the Wolverine Nation. Visit WHFBA.org and see how your donation can help our student athletes while earning you unique benefits. We're more than just a booster club. We are the Wolverine Nation. Hi again, fans, and welcome back to this Week 6 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. Adam Gusky here, sitting down with Woodland Hills head coach George Novak. And Coach Novak, before we talk about this week's game at Canon-McMillan, let's take a look back to last Friday's victory at the Wolverines against Upper St. Clair. A bit of a slow start. You got it rolling in the second quarter and then really turned on the Jets in the second half.
Yeah, the boys really played well. You know, we played a very good Upper St. Clair team. They had a couple tough games before us, and they came ready to play. Up front, that's the biggest offensive and defensive lines that we faced this year, and we knew that Coach Render would be well prepared for us. You know, going in without Miles, we had changed some things game plan-wise, and at first, they played well on defense. We made a couple mistakes, and it was a back-and-forth game in the first quarter. Second quarter, you know, Jamon Dunn had a great punt return. It kind of started things going for us, and it was all started off by a great punt from Chris Wilson. He had a great punt down to the 10. We had him boxed in there, almost got a safety. He ended up punting from the 1-inch line, and Jamon ran it back for, you know, had a couple nice blocks in there, but he made a great return. Put us on the board 7-0, and our defense came alive and really played well. And we got good field position, and we were able to get another touchdown in there. Joel Shaw scored it, and it was 14-0, and, you know, we had things under control. And then, you know, we had a fumble. They got the ball back, and they drove it down with less than a minute and scored. And we came back, tried our 2-minute drill, and did some good things, but we weren't able to score right before the half. So it was 14-7. Gave them some life. We had to come out the second half. In the third quarter, they kicked off to us, and our kids did a real nice job driving the ball down. And we did real well. We drove the ball down. We were able to score, and, you know, add on a couple more after that. Kids played real well offensively and defensively. They had a very good running back. Our hats off to the defense. They really contained him and did a nice job.
Coach, you touched on Joel Shaw and his performance, and you talked about Miles Sanders not being in the lineup. Peyton Hicks came in, and he did probably the best job of his career.
Yes, you know, Peyton's always there. He's a very reliable, hard-working guy. He's a very good running back. You know, he's a backup, plays a lot as you know, he's a senior, but you know, he got his chance to shine, and he did real well.
Let's talk about a couple of other guys that we haven't talked about yet this season. Amon Baldwin Youngblood and Jeremiah Jones both returned to the lineup and both made some noise.
Yes, they're both very good athletes, very good players, and this was their first game back in, and you know, they both had very good games. Amon defensively and offensively, and Jeremiah at the outside linebacker position. They both played well.
Let's talk about Miles Sanders. Obviously, the injury kept him out of last week. Is he going to play this week, or are you going to hold him off till the West Day game?
You know what? We're taking it day by day with him. We don't want to play him till he's ready, till he's 100%. And, you know, the boys showed that they could play well without him and do well, and I think that's a good sign of, you know, guys picking it up when somebody's out, one of our stars is out. And, you know, Miles will know when he's ready. You know, we're taking it day by day, and when he says he can play, that's when he'll play.
Coach, let's talk about Canon-McMillan, a team that's had their struggles over the past couple of seasons, but they're a Quad A opponent, and you can't overlook any team in the SEC.
Adam, every team in Quad A has some good players, and you know yourself, during a football game, good things and bad things happen, and you know, enough bad things happen, it could be a tight ball game against anybody. And you know, we try not to let that happen, but it happens. But they got some good players. They have a new head coach, new philosophy. They got some energy down there. I think they got a lot of the wrestlers out to play, and I think at times against everybody, they look very good, offensively and defensively. They've averaged 3 touchdowns a game in the first 5 games, so offensively they put some points on the board. Defensively, they've been in ball games till the end, and you never know what's going to happen. Their last ball game, they played Fox Chapel, and they beat them 21-0. So, their defense had to play well and their offense. So, we got to be ready to play each and every week.
This is a situation where it could be a trap game. You've got the big rematch against West Allegheny next Friday night. You just come off of a big victory against Upper St. Clair. How do you prepare differently, making sure the guys know that this isn't a game you can't overlook?
We approach every game every week, whether it's the first game, middle game, against a strong opponent or a weak opponent. We prepare the same way every week for them. Obviously going in, we're ranked pretty high, and they're coming in with 4 losses. And the kids, at first, they don't look at that seriously. And then by Monday, once we watch film and talk to them, we focus in on what we got to do as a team to keep getting better. Because we get better every week. I think you got to get better every week. If you're not getting better, then you're taking a step back. And we got to get ready this week for the opponents in the next 3 weeks after this. So, we can't just go out there and say, hey, this is an easy game and play. We play hard every week.
Coach, let's talk about some alumni that really shone brightly over the weekend. For the University of Pittsburgh, Mike Caprera had a huge game. Juan Price had a huge game. KK Mosey-Smith played well. So did Lafayette Pitts.
Yeah, I'm real proud of the boys. Coach Junko from the University of Pittsburgh called me Saturday night just to thank us at Woodland Hills for those guys that went down there. And, I felt real good, watching them on TV, and that Juan had a great game. He had a couple sacks, and he was pressuring the quarterback, stopping runs, making tackles. KK inside played real well, made some good stops on runs. Lafayette Pitts was a great coverage guy. Mike Caprera probably had, one of the best games of his career. I think he had 2 sacks and then the interception at the end in a 17-13 ball game, which was a big one. So, yeah, I'm proud of all the boys down there. Javante Pitts is doing real well also. So I'm proud of all of them and the effort that they've given. And it's nice when the coaches call you and thank you for your guys. So Coach Junko has been a good friend of mine for a long time, and, real proud to have him down there at Pitt.
Coach Novak, thanks a lot for your time. Good luck this week against the Big Macs, and we'll talk to you again next week for the big game against West A.
Okay, Adam, I would like to say hello to Aiden up there in New York again, and Max and Ava, my 3 grandchildren. I don't get to see them as much during football, so just want to say hi to the 3 of you guys and tell you I love you. Thank you.
Thanks again, Coach. We'll talk to you again next week on the pregame show here on the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Hi Wolverine fans, I'm Eric Schuley, and this is week 6 of the Wolverine Watch. On Monday, Wolverine Field Hockey hosts the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils at 7 o'clock, followed by a road test on Thursday at Fox Chapel at 3:15. JV football battles the Big Macs of Canon-McMillan on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock at the Wolverina. The boys' soccer squad plays at the Trinity Christian Falcons on Saturday at 11. Then they travel to Gateway for a match with the Gators on Tuesday at 7:30, and back home for senior rec on Thursday at 7:30 against the Penn Hills Indians. Girls soccer will head to Plum to face the Mustangs on Monday at 6, and on Thursday at 6 o'clock, they also host rival Penn Hills for senior rec. The girls volleyball team welcomes the McKeesport Tigers for senior rec on Monday at 5. Then it's an away match with the Gateway Gators on Tuesday at 6. And on Thursday at 7:30, the girls travel to Armstrong to challenge the Riverhawks. That'll do it for week 6 of the Wolverine Watch. We'll be back with more of the pregame show right after this. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, fans, let's see where the Wolverines stand in the Southeastern Conference. And now let's take a look at the MSA Sports WPIAL Quad A Top 10 rankings.
Again, fans, we thank you for joining us for this Week 6 edition of the Woodland Hills Football Network pregame show. Don't forget you can tune into our game live on television on Monroeville Comcast Cable Channel 13, Penn Hills Comcast Cable Channel 98, Verizon Fios Channel 37, and on our YouTube channel. As always, our radio broadcast can be heard live on our flagship radio station, AM 1550 WZUM, and on the web at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com. Our radio broadcast is also live and archived at msasports.net. And don't forget, you can tune in to replays of Friday night's game on all of our television affiliates and on our YouTube channel. For everybody at the Woodland Hills Football Network, I'm Adam Gusky, and we'll talk to you again next week as the Wolverines return to the Wolverina for homecoming.
This has been a presentation of the Woodland Hills Football Network. Watch us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and as always, visit us at woodlandhillsfootballnetwork.com.